A very warm welcome to you, friends all over the world. I'm Aumrie here in Los Angeles, and it is a pleasure to be here with you. It is a pleasure to be able to hold space with you as a community of mindfulness practitioners. This is Flourishing Academy. We are a community of individuals who are endeavoring down this path of the Dharma, of awakening their hearts, of awakening their minds to greater ease, to greater wisdom, to greater compassion. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to prioritize the Dharma in your life, to prioritize prajna within your life, to prioritize mindfulness within your life. You could be doing so many things, but you are saying something is resonating within you that says, I need to make more room for wisdom within this world and within my life. I need to make greater space for compassion within the world and within my life. I need to make more room for ease and tenderness and kindness and friendliness within the world and within my life. That's a beautiful thing because we can use it right now. You know, we can use it right now. How many of you think that the world could use a little more wisdom? That the leadership can use compassion? That our society can hold a space for greater peace within our lives? Now more than ever, we need some individuals, some mindful individuals, to be able to hold this space and to be able to say, what we need is wisdom and compassion to fuel the lives of those around, to enter into hearts, to enter into minds. Wisdom and compassion. Wisdom and compassion. That is the hallmark. That is the cornerstone of our practice. You know, many of you are maybe stopping by here because you've began your mindfulness journey. You stepped onto the roadway. You stepped onto the path. And maybe you did it by going to one of the apps, one of the meditation apps, and you're going, you know what, I found a bit of calm. I found a bit of peace within my life. I found a bit of ease in my life. And now you're saying, but it feels like there's something more. It feels like there should be something that goes along with this. And so you continued your search and you found yourself here. Thomas Wolfe says, go seeker, if you will, throughout the land, and you will find us in the night. And so here you are in the difficult moments of your life, in the challenging moments in your life, in the in-between spaces, in what the Dharma calls the antar, those middle spaces, those uncomfortable spaces, those tense spaces, that space where you encounter the mysteries of life, the fears of life, where you have to face yourself and you say, I will continue on my journey. And you do so endowed with greater wisdom, and you do so endowed with greater compassion. That is the way to be guided through life. That is the way to skillfully navigate through life. And so I have a message for you today of one of restraint. The Dharma talks about restraint and moderation and being self-governed and maintaining self-mastery all the time, because it is critical in order for us to find a middle ground, a middle way, not to be caught up in the winds of our emotion and the whims of our thoughts, but to maintain a steadfast, deep connection with our core values, to maintain a deep sense of being rooted in our humanity. And if we maintain that orientation, where we're not just caught up in our emotions, where we're not just easily swayed, where we're not just being careless or reckless with our thoughts and our words and our actions, then we can find a way to navigate peacefully through life. And so I have a message for you today, and I'm going to jump right into it. It says in the Dharma, verse 103, greater in combat than a person who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 people is the person who conquers oneself. There's something to be said about someone who is able to come to terms with themselves, who are able to face their own inner struggles, who are able to face their own inner trials and tribulations. We all have doubts. We all have anger. We all have bitterness that maybe has hardened your heart. And you may be quick to judgment, and you may be quick to ridicule, and you may be quick to turn to violence in order to accomplish an end. The Dharma says perhaps there is another way. It says it in this. It says, better than 100 years lived with an unsettled mind, devoid of virtue, is one day lived virtuous and absorbed in meditation. Right? And that's the call for us, to live absorbed in meditation, absorbed in this contemplative life, absorbed in bringing awareness to our interior life. And that word absorbed is a powerful word because it doesn't just say dabbling. It doesn't just say trying out. It doesn't just say figuring. Absorbed means completely enmeshed, right? Bonded in mindfulness. That's what we're called to do. And it's so important that we do that because in verse 129, it says something, all tremble at violence, all fear death, seeing others as being like yourself, do not kill or cause others to kill. All tremble at violence, life is dear to all, seeing others as like yourself, do not kill or cause others to kill. Right? There is this concept in mindfulness of ahimsa, of not extending harm, of not extending harsh words, of not extending harsh rhetoric. Because when you are caught up in a chain of escalating rhetoric, it only boils over. It only spills over. Now, the Dharma doesn't say that you become weak and that you become inept and that you just become a doormat and you let everybody walk all over you. But it says that you need to use wisdom and you need to use compassion, that you need to use restraint and that you have to maintain self-control, that you have to have self-mastery and you have to find diligence. And if you're able to use those as guideposts, as barriers, then you can skillfully navigate this path forward. You can skillfully find your way to peace, to freedom, to liberation. And that's the true goal here. Because as I said earlier, some of you may have started down your meditation path with the apps. And that's great. The apps are foreplay. The apps are an appetizer. It's where you begin this journey, but they are not where you're going to find the main course. They are not where you are going to find union. They are not where you are going to find your ultimate awakening, your satori. You find your awakening in the Dharma. You find your awakening in prajna. You find your awakening deeply rooted in this quality of awaken, in this sense of awareness, in this quality of presence. And there's nothing against the apps because they play an important role. They begin your journey, but they do not end it. You begin at meditation, but you end at the Dharma. The teaching says that all phenomena that arises will also subside. That is the starting place of meditation. But what do you do with that information? That is the key. That is what matters. How are you going to apply it to your life? Many of us, we take our seats in meditation and we have all this useful information and we find a bit of calm and we find a bit of peace and then we go back out into the world and we raise havoc. We're still reckless. We're still careless. We're still harsh with our words. We're still harsh in our rhetoric. We are instantaneous to react. We're bitter and we're angry. And that's because we're not properly applying meditation. to our lives. It's not being rooted in the foundations of the Dharma. It's not being energized and activated by prajna and generosity. There is a whole set of teachings that go along with meditation that come concurrently with mindfulness. You can't be mindful and not practice the Dharma. Mindfulness comes with a level of a burden. It comes with the weight of your nobility. I view meditation as an ennoblement. It is a reminder of your value and of your worth and of your dignity. And if you treat your meditation as an ennoblement practice, it is simply there to remind you of that deeper quality within you that you can access with a single breath. This quality of nobility, this quality of ease. And friends, wherever you are in the world today, you are called toward that nobility. You are called towards peace. You are called towards love. You are called towards kindness. Regardless of what hostilities are taking place within the world, you are called towards the Dharma. Now, there's a lot going on in the news today, and everybody is on edge. And here's the thing, when situations are heightened, words matter more. When tensions are tight, words matter more. Actions matter more. When the pressure is mounting and all eyes are upon you. Because ordinarily, someone would say something, they would say some words and you would just let it roll off your back. You wouldn't give it a second thought. You wouldn't even pay any mind to it. You would just give it a quizzical look and just go on about your business. But because it's saying when the eyes of the world are upon you and when tensions are high and when the pressure is mounting, you may react hastily. You may respond not so skillfully. You may not give proper guidance with wisdom and compassion. You may instead simply respond to appease individuals. And I want to tell you that you are called towards a deeper way of living. You're called towards this path of the Dharma, towards moderation, towards restraint, towards self-control, towards being self-governed, towards this quality of ease and dignity. So before you get caught up in listening to the silos of whatever news media organization you choose to listen to, before you get caught up in going to the blogs and the Twitter sphere that affirm your worldview, before you get caught up in listening to the social media posts that say one thing and you dismiss all the others and try to get someone else blocked or silenced or their voices quieted, take a moment to direct your attention within, to be absorbed in meditation, to find your path to the Dharma, to remind yourself of your nobility so that you can walk this path of awakening with awareness. Friends, you are called to this quality of life. It's so easy to rest in your heart being filled with anger and bitterness and frustration and getting people back and revenge and being caught up in the drum beats of more violence, of perpetuating more violence. But you have to call yourself back. You have to call yourself towards a place of ease, towards a place of repose, a peaceful repose, towards a place of finding stability, of finding a place of bringing your inner life into balance, of eliminating the discordance within your emotional life before you go off and extend harm or violence within the world. Because as verse 103 says, greater in combat than a person who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 people is one who conquers oneself. Friends, you have to bring your life into balance. Friends, you have to bring yourself into peace. Friends, you have to bring yourself back to your nobility. You are of noble birth. You're called towards this path of moderation, of temperance. And so I invite you to take a step back, take a deep breath, and look within your own heart as we come into the presence of this moment, the presence of this space. We're holding space for restraint within ourselves and for our leadership, that they not take hasty or rash actions, but that they choose restraint and moderation and self-control. This is the invitation. Friends, I invite you to hold this space with me. May peace rest among us. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Your beliefs, your business. Whether it's in your faith or your politics, that's your choice. You have agency. You can choose. You are liberated and free to choose. But you are also called towards the Dharma. And the Dharma teaches us moderation and restraint. And so we call on you today to find moderation within your life and hold space for moderation and restraint within our leadership, within the world around us. May wisdom and compassion guide us forward. May our path be illuminated with ease. Today we hold space for the weight of decisions that have to be made, and that they are made with great care and great diligence. For the politicians around the world, for the politicians here at home, for the weight of decisions that you have to make in your life. We hold space for Phil in Boulder, who's looking for healing and a healthy body. We're holding space for Bill in Santa Fe, who's searching for clarity and cleansing. We hold space today for all the challenges that are unsaid, for all the voices that remain unheard, for all the difficulties that remain unseen, for all the hurt that remains untended to. We hold space for it today. We hold space for you and your growth. May you continue to awaken on your path of the Dharma. Well practiced, friends. It was wonderful to sit with you. It was wonderful to hold space with you. It was wonderful to be with you today as a community of mindful individuals endeavoring down this path of awakening, as cognoscenti, as those who are aware, those who are in the know, those who are together, bonded, belonging. Wherever you are in the world, I just ask that you hold space for wisdom and compassion today. The world can use it. We need it. Remember the phrase, greater in combat than a person who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 people is one who conquers oneself. Take a moment to bring your life into control, to bring your inner life into balance, to break down the barriers that have guarded your heart, the barriers of anger and bitterness and frustration, and tend to it with ease and gentleness and compassion. Friends, if you've been encouraged by this message, I want to encourage you to support Flourishing Academy with your contributions according to your capacity. As you have the capacity to give and support, we ask that you do. You know, generosity is the cornerstone of mindfulness. It is the very foundation. It is the activation agent. As you open and give of your resources, you open your heart. You learn to open your mind to new ways of seeing and interpreting the world. We're holding space for you as you hold space for us. Thank you for your practice today. Until next time, let's say our affirmation of nobility, our ennoblement. I have value and I have worth because I am of noble birth. And with this breath, I will awaken to all that's possible within my life. I will lead and I will achieve. I will lead and I will achieve. Nicely done, friends. Just by saying that little affirmation, it is a reminder of your nobility. Until next time, best of luck as you walk this path of awakening. True self, true self, true self. Namaste.